Welcome everyone. We are at Founder World in San Francisco. I have in the studio with me Cody, the Chief Astronaut at RockIT. Thank you for joining me, Cody.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So what is RockIT Recruiting? What do you guys do?
Sure. So RockIT has been around for 4 years, and we partner with local VCs and help build their portfolio companies when it becomes time for them to start scaling their engineering teams. So at this point, we've helped hundreds of different startups in the Bay Area hire hundreds of engineers, product managers, and designers.
Awesome. So do you guys have a specific philosophy about how you go about doing that?
Yeah, we are bringing recruiting back to its old school traditional roots while using cutting edge technology to do so. So what I mean by that is bringing the relationship back to recruiting. We've got our office here in Soma at 5th and Harrison, and we have sponsored hackathon teams, given them crushed velour tracksuits with branded RockIT Recruiting to represent us. We've sponsored tech trivia events at local pubs like Pub Trivia. We just did an interview training series with Gail McDowell, who wrote Cracking the Coding interview. So a whole series of events to build our brand within the developer and startup community. And that's on the candidate side of things.
Yep.
On the client side, every company that we work with, we've visited their office, we've sat down with the founders, the heads of engineering, and talked to them about what do you need to build a successful team and how can we help with that. And the reason we take all the time to make those two connections is because hiring is difficult and time consuming, and finding a job is stressful and time consuming. And so we want to take all of the pain out of that for both sides and help to make a high quality match.
That's pretty cool. So what is the craziest thing that somebody's ever asked you to do for a recruiting purpose?
Yeah. This actually dates back to my time recruiting in Tokyo, which is where I started my recruiting career. I found a job for a lady, and we went out for a celebration dinner, and she very seriously said, "Cody, you've done such an amazing job finding me a company that matches exactly what I need.
Yep.
I'd like you to recruit me a husband."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So small step, I suppose, between recruiting for a job and recruiting for a husband.
Everyone compares interviewing and hiring to dating all the time. That analogy is very prevalent. So, she went for it. I had to politely decline.
That's awesome.
But it was funny. Yeah.
That's cool. So, but being serious, there is a pretty close connection with how personal it is on both sides, right? So finding a job, finding an employer.
Yeah.
How do you do that at scale, right? Because obviously as your company grows, personal relationships can be more difficult to do on a sort of one-on-one basis like this. How do you do that?
Yeah, that is tough. That's part of why we exist. So as a startup, you're 10, 20, 30, 40 people. You don't have time to be sending thousands of emails, having hundreds of conversations to make those 4 or 5 hires with people that are going to fit. And that's why you outsource that to us. So recruiting is a value add because it saves time and provides a service to both sides of the equation. Yeah, that's why companies rely on us to do that, and we don't have a solution other than a lot of hard work. There is no silver bullet to automate the recruiting process. One of the things that we've done recently that we're pretty excited about is we just brought in expert storyteller. He was an editor at Time Magazine for a long time. He's been a part of startups, and he's done a couple training sessions with our team on how do you tell a compelling story, so that when we go to visit the companies, even if they don't have their own compelling story created, we can create that for them, and we can help them to distribute that message and identify who's actually going to be a quality fit, so we can make that introduction.
So you have seen quite a few technical people get matched and find their dream job. You've also seen quite a few probably not be successful. What would your advice be to technical? We have quite a few technical people that watch this channel.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to somebody who's really looking to find that dream job? What is it that they could do to make themselves more appealing or to find that right match?
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know that there's anything you have to do to make yourself more appealing, quote unquote. I mean, if you haven't interviewed in a long time, then I would recommend doing some practice mock interviews just to get comfortable, or start out your interviewing with a couple companies you're not as interested in, almost as a practice round. But you're not trying to trick someone, right? To go back to the dating and marriage analogy, you want to be yourself, and you want to find a company that's also going to be upfront with you about what their expectations are, so that you can stay there for the long term. So, of course, this is self-serving, but honestly, if I were going to look for a job, I would look for a well-connected recruiter, because as I mentioned, we've worked with hundreds of different companies. We've been to all of those offices. We've sat down with the founders. A single job searcher doesn't have the time to do that. And so let someone else be a first round filter for you, and then suggest likely connections based on your interests.
Okay.
And finding a recruiter that you can trust and you can partner with is difficult. And so I recommend, you talk to your friends, talk to your network, ask who they've had good experiences with, and value those recommendations really highly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Founder World.
Yeah.
What excites you about coming here? Why are you here today? Why did you speak?
Jermaine Dupri. I'm sitting in his seat, man.
It's still warm, right?
Yeah, it's still warm from Jermaine Dupri. I love Guy Kawasaki. I've seen him speak a couple times. Tim Draper has some insane out there ideas that he's actually implementing, like slicing up California and Draper University and everything. So there's just a lot of great ideas and minds. And then for those of you who can't be here, there's so much energy buzzing around this place and excitement over people starting new companies. And that's fun for us, because we get to just take that all in, bottle it up, and take that passion into our jobs of helping these people build their companies and helping people find jobs that they're going to be really passionate about. So we talk to so many engineers who are tired of being a cog in a machine, not feeling like they have an impact. And so to help those folks find something that they're going to love to wake up and come into work early and really put their heart into, that's exciting for us, and that's what kind of keeps us motivated and keeps us going as recruiters.
So obviously you guys are very involved in the Bay Area, I believe, right? You said in the Valley.
Yeah.
What is like the number one position that's most sought after that you see from startups today?
We have a giant whiteboard in our office that lists all of the positions and all of the companies that we're recruiting for. The one that's probably the longest list at the moment, and it fluctuates, it ebbs and flows. The one that's the longest right now is probably front-end engineers. Okay. And I would say that's because every company needs a front-end engineer. So while someone might be working with Scala or Go or Node.js on the back end, they all need JavaScript engineers on the front end. So that's probably the most in demand at the moment.
And then I'll end it with, what is your favorite Google technology?
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Yes.
Because I would literally be lost without it.
I can agree with that, actually.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
And thank you guys for joining us. This is at Founder World in San Francisco, and my name is Kory.